Hello everyone, welcome to Achievers IS classes. Let's begin a discussion on the current events of 18th Feb 2019. The first issue in news is regarding the recent Supreme Court judgment in the power tussle between the Delhi government and the centre. The judgment upheld the Delhi government's power to appoint public prosecutors, impose stamp duty on property transactions, and also issue notifications under the Delhi Electricity Reform Act. But on the question of services, the bench gave a split verdict and referred the issue to a larger bench of the Supreme Court given the inherent complexity of relations between the Delhi government and the centre. Last year, the Constitution bench of the Supreme Court had provided for a framework to resolve the issues between the Delhi government and the centre, and it had held that the Lieutenant Governor has to either act on the aid and advice of the Council of Ministers or abide by the decision of the President on a reference made by the LG. However, it had said that every matter need not be referred to the President, and with respect to the issue of services, both the judges agree that there is no service in the Delhi government as all its employees come under the central services of the Dainik cadre, and therefore the LG need not act on the aid and advice of the Council of Ministers of the Delhi government. Given these inherent complexities in relations between the Delhi government and the centre, a larger bench of the Supreme Court will look into this issue and thereby address the complexities. On that note, let's move on to the next issue, which is regarding the terms of reference of the 15th Finance Commission. As you are aware, the terms included the use of data from the 2011 census, which was objected to by several southern states as it was unfavorable due to the low population of the states compared to their northern counterparts. In this regard, the chairman of the 15th Finance Commission, Mr. N.K. Singh, has said that it will not alter its approach on the use of 2011 census data, but it would look into other measures to ensure that states that have performed well by controlling the population growth would not be penalized. On other terms, like the consideration of altering the previous Commission's recommendation of 42% tax devolution has yet to be decided upon, but the chairman has highlighted the weaker position of the state and central finances. The next issue is regarding the recently released Agriculture Atlas. As per the document, 3 out of 5 farmers in India undertake agriculture under rain-fed conditions instead of irrigational support. The atlas not only maps the agro-biodiversity and the socio-economic conditions prevailing in such areas, but also attempts to document the policy biases that are making farming unviable in such areas. The negligence towards the rain-fed areas is said to be one of the reasons for lower incomes of farmers in these regions who are said to receive less investment per hectare than farmers practicing agriculture in irrigated areas. Also, the flagship government schemes such as the seed and fertilizer subsidies, the soil health cards are designed for irrigated areas and are simply extended to rain-fed farmers without taking their needs into consideration. This is seen in case of many hybrid seeds which are notified by the government that need plenty of water, fertilizers and pesticides in order to give high yields and thus are not useful to most rain-fed farmers. Further, the application of commercial fertilizers without sufficient water is said to burn out the soil, thereby increasing their vulnerability. Therefore, a more balanced approach is needed in order to give the rain-fed farmers the same research and technology focus that is being given to the farmers in the irrigated areas in order to improve farm incomes. On that note, let's move on to the next issue, which is regarding the declaration of national emergency in the US. National emergency was declared in the US previously too, like for instance, in the aftermath of the 9/11 terror attacks. But the current national emergency has been declared over the issue of funding the border wall with Mexico in order to counter the invasion of drugs and criminals, as said by the President of the US, Mr. Donald Trump. The move follows the longest federal government shutdown in US history, which came at a cost to the US economy and has further polarized the United States and renewed focus on the immigration debate in the country. During the national emergencies, the US law permits the diversion of funds to tackle the crisis at hand. However, one needs to see how real the emergency is, particularly when the immigrant figures have decreased considerably and border crossings by undocumented migrants are at an all-time low in the previous year. Therefore, the recent decision of the US president might be supported by the conservative voter base of the US, but will question the ideal of peaceful coexistence within a pluralistic democracy like the US. On that note, I'm wrapping up today's news analysis. Do like, share, and comment to support this initiative. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day.